and welcome to episode 4 of I Can Be Your Friend. This is the podcast where we catch up and talk entertainment and give shitty advice to those of you out there who need it.
Yeah.
So my name is Lauren and I am here with my gorgeous friend Cecilia.
Hello.
So Cecilia and I, we have been friends for quite some time. We met when we both went to drama school.
How long ago was that? 2012?
Yes.
We started.
Yeah, and I don't have a memory of you of when
I don't
first
either.
met
I just
you.
feel I just knew you.
Yeah,
We were drunk most of the time.
pretty much.
No. Maybe. No judgment here.
But drama school was a fun time.
It was.
It was all the rumours that you hear of what goes on in drama school is pretty much true, I think.
Yeah. That's why we don't remember it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's summer here.
Yep.
We've just had Christmas. Bloody hot. We're in the aircon at the moment. Mm-hmm. But
38 degrees outside, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Celsius as well. So, I heard that you bought something very special on Boxing Day.
You would be correct, Lauren. I did buy something very special on Boxing Day. Went out, bought myself a plastic clam. Now, what's a plastic clam, you might ask? You know, the big clam-shaped plastic thing that you fill with water and or sand and give to your child and or dog to paddle and or play in. Yeah, I just filled it with water. I just sat in the clam.
And that's how you've been spending your time?
Yeah, I've been
in the
clamming.
summer? Delightful.
Yeah.
Bit of bruschetta. Bruschetto?
Prosciutto.
No. What is it called?
Prosecco.
Prosecco. What's bruschetto?
I think you're thinking bruschetta or prosciutto.
My boyfriend, he got me because he's his background is what is it? Argentinian.
Oh,
But what he got me was Italian, I think, and it was a
I love a travel
panettone.
man. Oh yeah.
He says it's not panettone, it's panettone.
You're like, I'm sorry, I'm not as bloody whimsical as you.
So yeah, that's not really. Those 3 years of drama school didn't really help with my articulation and vocabulary.
Hey,
But anyway.
you know what? You got imagination. That's all that counts.
So while it's been hot,
Yes.
I have actually got something to share with you. And I don't know. I seriously don't know if this is... I don't know if this is like a well-known thing with the female community or not.
Oh, go on.
Okay, so do you wear a one piece for summer?
I do now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't used to, but now I'm quite a fan.
Yeah, I love a good one piece. Always hated going to the toilet. Had
Yes.
to take the whole thing off.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there naked. Like
and it's all sticky. Then you got to pull
Yeah,
it back up,
oh,
and
yeah.
it just
No.
awful. Well, you don't have to do that.
What?
I know.
What is this black
I know.
magic?
That's my dog in the background.
He's just announcing everything.
Very excited. So what you do
Yeah. Cornflower
is
everywhere.
when you sit down, you pull the crutch down,
Yeah.
then pull it to one side.
Like camping.
How is this like
Nothing.
camping?
Go on.
I've never been camping, but I don't know about that. And you can just go without taking off your whole
Really?
swimsuit.
But mine's quite fitted.
But same, you got to tug a bit hard.
You got to tug a bit hard. Okay. Interesting. What are we talking about?
Oh, I don't know anymore. But yeah, I tried it for the first time yesterday.
And you didn't pee on yourself?
No, I was very excited. I did it at a friend's place, so in case I did,
They had to
there'd
do
be
it.
pee-
Yeah.
there'd be
you
pee
just
in their
left.
pool. Yeah,
In their
You've got to
pool,
make
so you
sure
did it in a
you've got to make
pool.
sure the crack is to the side and everything.
The crack is to
Like
the side.
not the actual crack,
Like
but like
mine?
the whole thing.
Which hole? Wait, holes.
So the
and
whole
cracks.
bottom of the swimsuit, you have to kind of pull down and pull across.
All right, I
There's no
wasn't-
room for There's no.
There's no room for error. Oh my god.
And then I was talking to my friend, and she goes, "Yeah, I've done that for years." And I thought, "Oh, so okay, so this is like a well-known secret I haven't known about." And then she said, she goes out with a whole play suit on
Oh, onesie.
and does it in public restrooms.
I see. And if I've been drinking, I wouldn't trust myself.
Well, she says chances are she has got pee on her own jumpsuit, but she goes,
Don't
but
wear
at that
white.
point, no one cares. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I'd be experienced enough to do it with a whole
No.
play suit. But look, I've started with the one piece
Okay.
swimsuit,
Yeah.
changed my life. Do not have to take the whole thing off. So
I have a vivid memory of an ACA party or a drama school party. I've dropped the name. The lawsuits are coming. Yes, going, you like go to the bathroom with a friend, and I was going with my friend Chris, and I had a onesie on, and I was like, oh, this is the best costume because it was the Day of the Dead party. Do you remember?
I loved that party.
Yes.
That was in first year. No.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, Maddie's.
Yeah.
party. Yeah. Anyway, and I was like, this is the best. A good onesie on, yeah. And I had to pee, and I was like, Chris, you come with me. And I just remember sitting there, just like naked on the toilet with him just really concerned and not sure where to look. And I was like, don't look at me. I was like, oh, it's just all cold and white and whalish.
But this is the thing. Like, you know how girls like to have someone in with them, could be called with them when they pee?
Yeah, oh, well, he tried to bloody Snapchat it, I'm sure. So
course
don't
he
go
did.
with
Of
him.
course he
Sorry,
did.
continue.
No, it's just such a weird bonding experience because I went to a play and I knew this girl because she was the housemate of the guy I was dating. Mm-hmm. And she knew the whole cast and everything. And we went out afterwards and we're all having drinks. She said, oh, let's go to the bathroom together. I said, okay. Well, it was an intimate experience, to say the least, of these people. And then the main chick from the play came in as well. And they're all peeing there.
Was this bathroom?
It was decent size. And they were all peeing there with the doors open.
Oh.
And I wasn't sure what to do because I don't know these people very well.
Did you have a onesie on as well?
No, they didn't do
thank God.
onesie, but it was just it just reminded me of that when you bring people into the toilet and
Yeah.
I want to be that person that's cool with it because I am cool with it, but I was also a bit concerned. Where do I look?
Yeah, don't make eye contact.
No, I definitely made eye contact.
It's like dogs when they go
I
to
just
check
watched them
everything's
the whole
okay.
time.
Yeah.
Because they were talking to me as well, so then I didn't want to be rude and not look at them while we're talking.
Just close the door. Excuse me, I'm taking a piss.
No, but it's like when you notice something about someone, like they've got a pimple or something. You're like, don't look at the pimple. Don't look at the pimple.
Just
don't look
draws
at the
you
Just
in.
Look at their eyes. Look at their eyes. Look at their. It was like
Look
that.
around the pimple. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I can do that with people that I know quite well. I don't know if I do it with people that I didn't really know.
But yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah. I'm glad we sorted that out.
So like we said, we both went to drama school. I had a very short but sweet acting career because as I was reminiscing before, 2 months after we graduated, I rejected my lungs. So I had a good couple of months in there of doing my acting, going to castings. And my favourite story was a job that I actually got. Now, I don't know if you know this story, but it was for a commercial and it was for... Yeah. So Cecilia
because I didn't want to like get
Cecilia
anyone
is
in
miming it to me.
trouble.
So it was for a grocery store, and you've been in one of their ads as well, and they do quite unusual TVCs.
Quirky.
Yeah. So I went to this casting, and it was crying. It was for Crying Girl. So I went in there, had my little cry, said my lines. Preferred this particular ice cream that they had, and then I left, got a call back, and then I got a third call back, and I got it. Woohoo! Cha-ching, cha-ching. Went there on the day. So what they wanted was for me to have two sort of tubes under my eyes with holes put into these tubes. These tubes were connected to this big container full of water, which they'd pump. And while I was crying, extra water was going to spurt out. And then they said, and then we'll CGI or edit out the actual tubes and it'll just look really hyper real of you crying. I said, yeah, cool. So I was in this 80s looking bedroom. Then they decided to pour water on me.
Nice.
So I was in this pool of water in this bedroom, in this mattress, it was very full on. Whole crew around me. So there's probably about 20 people in the room. And then they were transmitting it downstairs to the clients. It was about an 8-hour shoot of me crying. So them asking me to
that's me on Saturday night. Why don't they come over and pay me to do that?
Yeah, it was very easy for me. I dealt with a lot of emotions that day. And so they did some with the cannulas under your eyes, and then they did some without, and there's like different variations.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, okay, cool. And then the client asked me to not be so depressing. They said it was too.
Sorry, what?
They came up and said to the director, "She's too realistic, and we're getting sad watching this."
You're like, I am a trained actor. I'm giving you truth.
So I didn't know how else to cry. I don't know what was a funny cry, but so yeah, I got told that I was too depressing the way I was crying and too realistic. So I tried to bring it back. And anyway, a week later, they called me in and said, I want you to do some ADR, which is when you go in and you do some more voices for the project. Mm-hmm. So I go in there and it's like a little booth. It's like what you know as a record kind of
sound
record
booth
studio
kind of
thing.
Yeah.
I go in there. They've got the clip up in front of me. And they've got the microphone in front of me and different variations of the text they want me to say. Mm-hmm. And they go, now this is the clip. And they play it. And it was the one take we did when they asked me to cover up my whole head with a Duna cover. I said, right, that's the one we're going with? Okay.
Like, okay, I took the note. I've taken.
So
what are you trying to say?
They paid thousands and thousands of dollars for this ad and ended up covering me up with a whole Duna cover. And then to make matters worse, while I was doing the lines again in the booth, they came in with an actual Duna cover and said, "Can you please cover your head with this?" So I was in this
it's too much on the monitor. We're getting depressed
so
watching you.
I was too depressing that they covered me up with the Duna cover. So that was my experience with doing a TVC. What's been the weirdest role you've had to play, including in drama school?
Weirdest role? I played a sheep in your video. That was pretty weird. I wore a onesie in 40-degree weather and had my nose painted black. So
and that
like
is the sign of a true friend.
Thank
right
you.
there. Yeah.
This is my finest work, actually.
It was.
When I die, they'll look back on it and be like, oh, she was such a great sheep.
And it was worth it for those couple of 100 views, I say.
Most of which were Mansour, our friend.
Definitely just Mansour.
Yeah. Or my
watching
mum.
Yeah, and my mum.
Yeah.
Between the three of them.
Seriously, most views of things I'm in is my mum. No, I'm trying to think if I had any weird experiences on sets or... No.
Oh. Is Peter saying something?
Yeah, he is. I may as well say it. Look, I'm not ashamed. I am ashamed, which is why I pointed at him saying, shut up. But, hey... It's all about truth. So I played a spy recently in a little web series, which was lots of fun.
Which you were brilliant at,
thank
may
you.
I say.
Thank you. Stop it. Which was heaps of fun. It was great fun. But one of the main points about this spy is that she rode 500 kilometres.
Sorry.
She rode... Jeez. What is this podcast you've got me in on? Cracks to the side, riding men. Jeez. Anyway.
Sorry,
she rode about 500 Ks across France on a bike through Nazi-occupied France. And as one does.
You had to ride 500 Ks?
Well, I didn't have to ride 500 Ks, thank God. But they kind of did a certain effect where they shot me on a stationary bike and had forests going, whipping behind me, trees whipping past and people... Nazis going past and stuff like that. Anyway, they just had this one part where they're like, okay, we just need you to ride into frame. And I was like, yeah, I haven't ridden a bike in 20 years. And to my credit, we went and hired bikes and I had a go and I was fine, right? Anyway, the bike that they gave me was this old, it was not antique, but it was a very old, very tall men's bike. And I couldn't touch the ground when I was on it. So I had a lot of issues. I was in a dress and heels and I had to come down this. It was like a bush road.
I thought they
dirt road.
Green screened that.
Well, they did for bits of it, but it was just this shot. Once you just come in and stop looking surprised.
Are you one of those people that have lied on their resume and says, yes, I can ride a bike?
Oh, I can ride a horse. I can ride two horses, at once. Put the horse on top of the other horse. I'll get on top of it. Yeah, it'll be great. And anyway, they I couldn't do it. They're like, all right, Cecilia, just walking into frame. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like I went to an audition and they had a bike there because it was to represent a motorbike.
Oh, nice. And you were like, oh, God.
Yeah, and when you go in for a casting, it's just a weird experience.
Yeah,
you just walk into a room full of different variations of yourself.
Yeah,
and
usually thinner and better looking.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Anyway, they said, right, they just need you to walk up to the bike, pretend it's a motorbike, so we want you to lean forward, get on there, and then get off. and they kind of wanted a sexy vibe as well.
they
It
always
was
want a
for
sexy vibe.
a painkiller. I don't know what.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so
But when you crash and you have a headache from the motorbike.
as soon as that word sexy must have been like a trigger word for me or something.
And I got my
'Cause I'm
breasts
like,
out.
yeah, so I started stripping. So then I'm thinking, okay, Lauren, it can't be hard. You know how to ride a bike. It's easy. But because it was
riding a bike.
stationary though, right?
Yeah.
And they still had the little lever on it. So
Yeah,
they
the
said,
stand.
and they said, don't move it or
I know
anything.
the word, the stand.
So I went to get on it. And I fell off,
Oh, no.
trying my best to be sexy.
Oh, Oh, God.
And I was like, sorry. Do you want me to do that again?
And they're like, definitely not. I have a great clumsy sexy story.
Oh, yeah, go.
So it was my birthday a few years ago, and I had people at the house, just a house party, nothing too wild, and I wasn't living with my boyfriend at the time, but he was there, obviously, as he should. And I had maybe had too much prosecco or prosecco, as you said before. And I was like, hey, do you want to come into my room? Like, winking just awfully and drunkenly. And he's like, okay. And I was trying to be all sexy, and I was like, hey there. And I must have leaned or something on my curtain, and the rod fell down and hit me on the head. And I was like, oh man, and it was really heavy, rod. And he ended up just staying with me with frozen peas on my head for most of my birthday. And I was like, I'm still sexy, right? He's like, yeah.
Sure.
Good night, sweet prince. It's like,
so here's something. I've been getting into watching stand-up lately. Mm-hmm. I watched Russell Brand. So he is what is he, Cockney?
somewhere. He's from South London.
South
Or something,
London.
I don't know.
Anyway, he's hilarious. And I also watched some Ricky Gervais.
Yep.
Is that how you say it? Gervais?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway. Anyway, loving my stand-up at the moment.
Nice.
But I find that after I watch it, I'm then just got this inner monologue of what I'm doing in the voices of the people I've just watched. And I'm narrating what I'm doing, but like a story. And then I have this backing track of people laughing because I'm thinking, I'm hilarious.
I'm so funny right now.
If I just... And then she picked up an apple.
You're looking around for claps. Yeah, anyone?
Am I the only one that does that?
Look, I wish I could say no, but Look, I haven't experienced that. But that's gold. Do you laugh?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well then that's all that
And I'm
matters.
thinking, oh man, I should do stand-up after that. The next day, I'm like, Lauren, what were you thinking? Because then I look at my phone with these notes of things I'm thinking, this is
hilarious,
gold.
yeah.
And then I look at it the next day and realize, oh, it was just because I used the accent.
Yeah.
Like
everything
was
sounds funny when it's like that. Oh man.
So are you watching anything at the moment or have watched?
I was watching Das Boot.
Ah,
Das Boot. There was a remake on SBS. So Das Boot was a film back in the maybe 70s. I'm not even sure. I'm just making that up. But it was remade and showing on SBS and SBS On Demand, and they made it into a series, which was really cool. I really liked it. It's has Lizzie Kaplan in it. Do you remember Mean Girls? And she played
you
the
had
friend.
me at Mean Girls.
Yeah. the cool good friend. I can't remember what her name is.
Janice.
Kind of yes,
Yeah.
gothy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean she's done heaps of stuff since then, but
Why don't you
I knew
shave your
you'd know
back?
that. Yeah.
Oh no, your
she's
mum's
in
chest hair. Sorry.
I was like, Lauren, can you not tell people about my hairy back on this podcast, please? It's a bit real.
So what's it about? What?
So it's set in World War II, and it follows this. I'm not sure if I haven't seen the original film, but it follows this woman who's German but grew up maybe in Alsace, so she speaks French, but she kind of thinks she's a German as opposed to a French lady. So she's on the side of the Nazis and the German, cause and all that. And she goes to this little coastal town and her brother is stationed there. He gets deployed on this submarine and she kind of gets pulled into some stuff that he's been a part of.
Some little underground.
Yeah, and it's got to do with French resistance and because she speaks French and German and English, it's, you know, she's kind of in with people but then trying to be loyal, but then her loyalty is kind of questioned.
Oh,
but
I love that era.
Oh, I know.
It's
it
just so
looks beautiful.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, amazing.
And the woman is incredible because she can speak all those languages and act in all those languages.
I can't even say bruschetto.
I know. Yeah.
No? Still got it? I thought that was pretty good. Spaghetti.
But I would definitely recommend it.
Okay.
I like kind of period piece.
Yeah, no,
stuff.
I love a good period piece.
Yeah.
Got one on right now.
I know. It had to be said.
Yeah.
We're secretly actually just 12.
I just finished the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians. I think it's...
Is it a book?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was a book. I'm terrible.
Yeah, that was a book, Crazy Rich Asians.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know there was an Australian in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Is that Ronnie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
love
just
him.
did a TVC with him a couple of
You
weeks
met
ago.
him?
I did, yeah.
I was watching it the other day and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I love this guy.
He's very funny.
Oh, I can
He's
imagine.
very funny.
Yeah.
No, that was good fun. We had a couple of days shoot.
Did you at least get like a selfie with him or something so you can be like
Um,
proof? Because you could be making this up. If there's no selfie, it
maybe.
didn't happen.
Babe, there'll be a whole bloody campaign. You just
Sorry.
wait. They'll be like, Ronnie's in that? Because all I was watching was Cecilia. Be an idiot. But yeah, that's me. Someone took a photo, surely.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But
Oh, that's so awesome.
yes, but continue with those story. I'll stop,
No,
name
please.
dropping.
No, all I was going to say is I just finished the sequel to that.
Okay.
I think it's Crazy Rich China Girlfriend. I think that's what it's called, the
Okay.
sequel.
Good.
Yeah, I really liked it because I didn't read the first one. I watched the movie.
Yeah.
And then I thought, can I get away with just reading the second without reading the first? So I Googled what's the differences between the book and the movie. And then I just read the second. It was great.
And what's the premise? I'm terrible. I don't know.
Of the first one?
Or of both. Is it a similar genre for both?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a chick flick rom-com
Okay.
type thing.
Is it a female author?
No, a male.
Okay.
So it's a Chinese American falls in love with a Chinese Singaporean, I guess. And then
Just
they're
like
in
the cultural...
they're in America. Then they go back to his family's house for a wedding that's happening over in Singapore.
Okay.
And she finds out that he's part of one of the richest families
Okay.
in Singapore, and they're like crazy rich.
Okay.
Hence the
the name.
title.
I see what they did there.
Yeah, and and then of course the family don't accept her, and it's just
Yeah,
her trying to
okay.
like thrown in this world of just a whole different thing. So it's light and easy and it's fun, but yeah. So I
Cool.
just finished that. And,
Nice.
The sequel is just a continuation of their story, but also the other characters. Like it's 3 sort of main storylines, and you follow all that, and then she finds her real father and
Okay.
all this stuff.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, I love a good light book to read.
Yeah, I was thinking, I can't remember the last book I read cover to cover
Really.
that wasn't a play. I feel like all the stuff I read are plays.
But see, I don't read. I audio book.
Oh, see, that's good too.
I love it because I can just lay there, or I can
Yeah.
do other things and draw and just listen
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, I love a good podcast. I love a good true crime podcast. All about that. Don't get me started.
Teacher's Pet. Have
Teacher's
you-
Pet.
I haven't actually.
Turn this off now and listen to Teacher's Pet.
I've heard
Please
amazing things, but I haven't started it.
That's great.
So I was a
because all the
massive
stuff's
serial
happening.
fan.
Oh, because I was a massive serial killer back in my day, and no one made a podcast about it.
No, I'm still waiting. What does a girl have to do to
Yeah.
make it to the top 10 of a podcast? Yeah.
No, serial was great too.
Yeah. So wait,
Yeah.
what's on? So is Teacher's Pet? It's a podcast. Is it one crime per episode, or is it?
No, follows one story.
Oh,
And
because
there's
they
been
just
recent events.
Yes, because I've heard about. So the first season
Yeah, I think it's just one as far as I know.
Oh, okay. And that was
Yeah.
all about this murder,
Well, this
cold
is-
case murder?
This disappearance.
Mm.
I'll say that with inverted commas.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this missing person that was never really investigated well, and this guy is super shady, and the circumstances are really shady. So
Because this shady guy I saw in the news was just arrested.
Yes, he
now he's out on
was.
bail.
Yes,
So they mustn't
but
have had enough
until-
evidence. But
Well, and I think maybe until trial. I think they just have. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to take between.
how crazy
yeah.
that a podcast has that much influence to actually get a guy
It's
arrested
great.
X amount of years after a crime has happened.
And if it's to do with, I don't know if it's police negligence or insider.
But do you know what? Like,
whatevers.
there's so many cold cases that are coming and being solved now because of DNA, because of this, because of that. Because you don't realize how far we've come with technology in the
Yeah.
last even 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, do you think there's a bunch of people, like criminals, that have committed
freaking out.
crimes?
Well, no, totally. I mean,
And they've
even
gone,
in this
"Oh, shit,"
podcast,
they've gone,
what the guy Headley, I can't remember his surname, interviews a lot of people, and a lot of people started calling in, which is, I think, potentially what got this guy arrested. There was potentially new
right.
evidence or new testimony or something, witness statements and stuff. But there were people saying that there are other people involved in those Northern Beaches schools, which is where that guy worked.
yeah.
That should be shaking in their boots, and all things coming to light, and people
That's
talking.
like when I watched The Keepers on.
Oh,
Did you watch that?
yeah, heartbreaking.
Yeah, so The Keepers is a documentary on Netflix. Highly recommend if you don't mind looking at corruption in the Catholic Church.
I mean, it's a bit hard to ignore now.
But essentially it's about a nun who was murdered in the 1960s.
Yeah.
She was a teacher as well. And these students of hers who are now in their probably late 50s, early 60s, find each other on Facebook and start an investigation of what happened to this sister Kathy. Like, did anyone sort of follow up on that story? And they delve into it, and it's kind of like they just open up a can of worms, and they find out all this corruption that happened within the school, so many cover-ups, and it's just, I try not to give too much away, but it's so addictive.
Yeah.
Makes you feel shit afterwards. But hello.
Hello, dogs. Welcome to the podcast.
But yeah, oh gosh, I've watched it twice now. I made
Oh,
my dad
really?
watch it. Yeah, I watched
Did
it within the second time.
We watched. I watched it. Yeah, I watched it, and then I made him watch it.
Well, I grew up strict Catholic, so it's
Yeah, we were Catholic school. I mean, it's just what is it? Money and power.
Mm-hmm.
And white men.
Okay. Generally, I like to give my two bobs worth and, give fairly shitty advice.
Bob
and
away.
So I always ask you guys if you would like to write in with anything you would like some shitty advice on.
That's why I'm here.
Honestly, I didn't think that anyone was going to write in with anything serious. But I have actually got people writing in, and we've got another one for this week.
Right.
So each person who writes in, I like to give them an alias name. This is a delightful young lady. What would you like to call her, Cecilia?
Oh, Stephanie.
I don't know why I thought you were about to say Gladys. Okay, Stephanie.
Gladys. It's a good name.
So Stephanie wrote in. Now, this is a very long spiel, so we are going to go back through it, just so you know. But so this is from Stephanie. I guess my question is, how do you talk to people, friends, family, strangers, with the right level of drama? I have a rare genetic bone disorder called MHE, multiple hereditary exostosis? I have this problem where I either dramatize too much or too little. Like, for instance, when talking to friends, I don't draw attention to the pain I am in daily because I don't want to be left out. But when I do complain, when it passes my pain threshold, they don't take it seriously because I haven't made any drama over the build-up of the pain. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Or while telling an extended family member about the latest op, one would think they were talking about the weather. Family member, so what did you get up to this year? Me, oh, I had another operation on my leg. Family member, oh, that's nice. How's the new job going? Or how I couldn't get an extension for a uni assignment that I needed because I was booked in for an op.
Oh, for God's sake.
I talked to this uni lady, explained I have operations once every 2-ish years, don't get much notice and don't know how long recovery will be, but I said if I absolutely had to, I could maybe get back to uni after a week. She said because the op wasn't on my writing arm and because I hadn't registered as having a disability within the uni system and because I would only be gone for a week, she wouldn't grant me the extension. She said, my disease doesn't affect you. Maybe if I told her in gruesome detail what the surgeon was going to do, and maybe if I hadn't put on a brave face and downplayed it because I was so super nervous, I might have gotten that extension. As it was, I took a month off to recover. I guess my underlying question is, do people not care about me and my trials because I am bad at expressing what it all is? Anyway, I guess my drama question can apply to a lot of situations, not just medical ones. So yes, that is our question.
Wow.
So there are so many layers to this and it can be applied to absolutely anything. So the first thing you're asking is if you dramatize it too much or not enough. So I actually took the liberty of looking up the definition of dramatise. And to dramatise is to exaggerate the seriousness or importance of an incident or situation. Girl, you are not dramatising anything.
No, if you've got a serious, rare disease.
Just because it's full on does not mean you're dramatising. You're just telling the facts. And the facts and figures, it is what it is. And a lot of the time, that is a reflection on the person that you're talking to.
Oh, totally. It's all about them if they can't deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I've had a lot of experience with this. I'm sure you have as well, Cecilia. Like
to some degree. No, I don't want to put myself in that.
I know, but you've had something where.
Yeah. Yes. This is correct.
So my first thing would be, don't ever belittle what you're going through. My gosh, you know what you're going through, and don't try and feel the need to justify it to people if they're not willing to take the time to understand. And don't ever feel like you're dramatizing it by saying the truth. You are actually just saying what's going on. And that in itself, even though it's full on, it's not dramatizing.
No.
So don't ever feel that you are a drama queen or anything of the sort. So about the extension.
Rude.
Okay. This is the thing.
Far out.
This is my theory, right? Everyone likes to put a label on you. This is how our society works. You're in that box, you're in that box, you're in that box. When it comes to illness and disability, you can't put that in a box. That's what she said.
Dear God.
So I actually went through something similar. It was my year 12 HSC. I was in a very bad state and I had applied for an extension, had all the paperwork there, gave it to the Board of Studies. I got my results in the mail, as you do with your HSC. Oh, yeah. And it said that I was ineligible to get an extension. Not an extension, an estimate on one of my assignments.
Sure, yeah.
And I was just gutted because it took a lot for me to even accept that I was sick, let alone for others to then say, no, you're not.
Especially and assess it.
Yeah, from an authoritative figure. Yeah. So I called up this woman and said, look, I just don't know why I didn't qualify. I gave you all the paperwork. She said, I just don't see, like it was an ongoing assignment. I just don't see how you wouldn't have been able to do it. I bursted into tears and just said, I was on oxygen for a lot of the year. I'm really upset and, I'm going to have to go on a transplant soon. And I think this woman was just like, okay, we'll give it to you. So that was kind of my first kind of experience with this. I'm talking a bit all over the place.
Do it.
But when it comes to do people care or not, with that woman that you are dealing with at the university, she is doing her job. She wants to fit you into a box so she can tick that box yes or no so she can say, I've done my job and I can go home and sleep at night and earn a living. She probably doesn't care about you, whether you do pass or not, because it's not something that affects her directly. And that is nothing against you. And this is when you really need to put in the work for yourself, and that is to really worthy yourself enough, I believe. Once again, not a mental health expert, to really worthy yourself enough and know when to put in emotional energy to something and when to just know when you have to play the game. Because as much as I'd love to say we live in this world where people make allowances and, expect the best of you, it just doesn't, it's just not the way the world works. So for someone like that woman at the university, it's not dramatizing, but I would go in there saying, I need an extension because I'm about to have an operation. You don't have to go into gruesome detail if you do not want to, because you don't have to. You've got the evidence
and
there.
She has no right to know, you know.
If she says you haven't claimed a disability, well, you can not retaliate, but you can explain that this is something that happens every 2 years. So you didn't know that this would be under a disability form. And really just give her the facts and the figures, and not give her, oh, I might be able to come back in a week, or I mightn't be able to do this. Just be very straightforward and assertive and say, I cannot do this. I need an extension because X, Y, and Z. And generally when you give people that there is no other option, they make things happen. When you go in second guessing yourself for them, I find people then sort of feel like they can use their authority to say, well, that's not going to happen. Do you have any things you want to say on that?
Yeah, I think just be honest and straightforward, and you don't need to be emotional about it, because that's the fact.
Yeah, and
They're
it's
the
so
facts.
easy to get it's hard to not feel
totally.
personally attacked.
Totally.
But you definitely have to separate your emotions from this and realize she's doing her job. For me, to protect myself, I've got to do my job by ticking the boxes for her, saying this is why I can't do it. If she still says no, I would say, well, why is that? If she says because of the disabilities thing or whatever.
But surely people who
you
don't
broke
have
your
an
arm or
ongoing,
something?
yeah, exactly, they don't have an ongoing
There's
illness or
allowances.
issue. Yeah, if you've got hit by a car,
It's just probably extra work for her.
yeah, yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
if you've got any backup documentation, you'd be like, this is how it is. I need this.
And if she says no, as much, no one likes confrontation, but I would not be leaving that office without saying, I unfortunately need this and I cannot leave until I get this extension.
Yeah, and I think, look, at unis, they deal with a lot of people that are just out of school and their kids.
And they also deal with people like the bludgers who probably give them
they
every
want 'em,
excuse under the sun of why they need an
They
extension.
need an extension because they were
So-
drunk all weekend. We've all been there, but
Okay, and then let's go on to family and friends. The joys of family and friends.
yeah, like you said before, I think it's, if people can't hear it, it's about them and they're uncomfortable with hearing how difficult things can be.
So when it comes to your family and friends, I like to think of it as a little circle. So you've got your inner circle of the people you really trust, who really get you. You don't really have to say too much because they understand.
Yeah.
Then you've got a circle around that with your next group of people. They're probably more your extended family, probably more your everyday friends. They're the people who you'd like for them to understand, probably not going to. They probably have different priorities in their life where they're focused on that and they don't know how to react with what you're saying. So they want to wash over that because that's their way of coping. Or they're not sure what to do. And I'm a big believer. I've had friends over the years who have acted in all different sorts of ways. I think I've had every reaction under the sun with what I've gone through. And I've learned that they're scared. That's generally the main thing, is that they're scared. They don't know how to react. So all these reactions are just them trying their best to do what they need. So for yourself, I think it's really important that you tell your friends what you need. So if you're having a pain-free day or you're having a good day, you don't need to tell them, great. But then when the pain does come, when the flare-up comes or something, then it is your responsibility to tell them, hey guys, just so you know, this has flared up. Can we allow for this? And generally people are fine with it, but they're waiting for you to know what to do. They're waiting for your leadership.
Gauge it or
Yeah.
something.
Because if someone doesn't have something, they don't understand. Like, I don't understand things about you, Cecilia.
Not many people do.
No.
Lauren.
But you know what I mean. I haven't lived in
totally.
your shoes, so I go off your gauge. If you're saying, I'm going to have some wine tonight. And I'll say, okay. Is it because you're happy or sad? Or because it's Monday?
It's because I'm awake.
So I think for that, a little bit of an outer circle, that next circle, definitely give them some guidance as to how to act. And I think a lot of the things that you've said in this particular email that you sent me was the best advice that I could give for what I picked up is for you to know what you need and be assertive with that and communicate that with people. And do not apologize for it.
Yeah.
do not belittle what you're going through, and
Yeah, because
don't.
it's just another layer of feeling shitty on top of feeling shitty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if people aren't going to get it, if people think you're dramatizing, or if people have these prejudices against you, they can get kicked out of that circle altogether. They don't deserve you because
I'm
you're
dramatizing. I've got a bone disease. Like, how do you not? Like, that's a big thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's not like, I hurt my finger.
yeah, as long as you're truthful to yourself, there is no need to feel judged by other people. And if they are, well, flick them off.
Yeah, and I think even when you're talking about the circles, even like you've got your close one, and then the next one, you'll figure out who slots in where, as well, by how they respond, and they might move around. Like, you might have someone that's very close to you that doesn't get it still.
Oh, absolutely.
And then someone further away that just
I can
really
name a few
gets
of
it.
those
Yeah.
people.
And I guess it's a matter of just finding those people that can hear you
And I think...
and not feel they need to do anything about it personally.
Yeah.
You know, they do what they can, but not thinking they need to fix it.
Yeah, and know what your expectations are of people.
Yeah.
You know, I think people in that bit of an outer circle, it's very easy to have expectations of them that you would of the people with your inner circle. As much as lovely as that would be, it's just not a reality. I've divided up my friends into the types of friends that I call depending on what I need.
Yep.
I have friends that got no idea of what I go through, and even if I explain it to them, still got no idea. But they're so much fun to hang around with. So they're my people that I call when I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girls, let's go to the movies.
Yeah.
Let's do this, let's do that. Then I've got my friends that are in a different category that I know I can call in and trust when I'm having a bad day and I need someone to be there for me. I know they're the type of people I call. Then, you know, you've got friends for different things, and they fill up the different holes in your life until they're all full.
Yeah.
You can't expect someone to fill
Yeah.
all of your different holes. Metaphor.
This is the best podcast in the world. She can't help but be filthy. Or maybe you can.
Accumulate. So I would say to get people to feel different parts of
Still bad.
yourself.
We know what you're saying. We know what you're saying.
Do you have anything to go off that, Cecilia?
Mate, I think you said it all. I think you said more.
Yeah, I think you just can't expect one person to fill all of those roles for
Totally.
you.
Horses for courses, love.
Exactly. And yeah, so I don't think people don't not care. I think people just don't know how to act a lot of the time.
And some people can't hear things that are hard for other people.
Yeah, everyone acts differently, and generally I find if I say to someone, like if I call up Cecilia and I'm like, yo, little question,
Do you
I
pee
shat
out of your
myself.
thing? And I go, oh my God, I have done this also. Tell me.
I pulled the costume to the side for number one. Underestimated.
You're like,
Here comes the bathroom, please.
where are you? Who do we send? The fireys? With their hose.
Oh my gosh, fireys.
There you go, that's a whole nother episode.
I accidentally set the fire alarms off in the hospital once.
Oh,
and,
why?
well,
You're smoking a huge cigarette.
I love chocolate dipped strawberries. Always have, always will.
Go on.
So I went to the microwave in the hospital with a polystyrofoam cup,
Oh, okay.
put some chocolate in there. I was only
Yeah.
17 at the time.
I was about to say 7. I was like, yeah, valid.
17? Why not now?
Yeah.
Put it in the microwave, and the little smoke detector started going off because the chocolate burnt straight into the polystyrofoam. Thought, "Gee, I reckon it was a dodgy microwave."
Yeah.
Anyway, I was
Dodgy
like,
cup.
so I'm like trying to air the little thing. Oh, thank God it's just the little one. Chucked the polystyrofoam cup in the bin thinking, get rid of the evidence. The little fire alarm stopped. I'm like, thank goodness.
Oh, God.
Next minute, the entire floor had the massive alarm go off. It was locked down.
Oh, shit.
All the doors closed, like from the different fire doors. And 2 the fire engines came. And I had to be the one that apologized. I was like, I'm so sorry. I just wanted some chocolate dip strawberries.
Like, ma'am, we get this all the time.
They were fine about it. But every time I think of firemen, I think of that little.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we've sort of answered Stephanie's question. I'm just scrolling through it again.
Yes.
So your underlying question, I guess my underlying question is, do people not care about me and my trials because I'm bad expressing what it all is? I don't believe so. I think people do care.
Yeah.
I think there's just different levels.
People.
Yeah, and there's different levels of caring as well. And there's different roles which people will play in to get you to your goals.
And if they don't care, don't try not to go to them.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to give you much.
And it's all about preserving your emotional energy.
Gotcha.
Don't give the people that don't need it, don't give them part of yourself. Just use them to achieve your goal, as, you know what is a business transaction and what is a friendship transaction. With your health and with your friends, I would definitely tell them that your trials are important to you. Do they know that this is actually something that you're struggling with? At the end of the day, they're hard topics to get around. People always talk about how to communicate with their friends and family about their illnesses, and there is no right or wrong way. Really depends on the situation, the person, and the place, I guess. Totally. Don't ever think that you're dramatizing anything, girl. You are fine just the way you are. I would definitely try and be a little bit more assertive with what you want.
Or what you need.
Yes, and tell people enough to get you places, but try not to express too much of your own self, just to self-preserve.
To your disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's gonna,
and tell those closer to you what is going on, and if they can't deal with it, that's we'll say it's entirely their fault, but it's not really. You can help them by saying this is what's going on, and they might react in many different ways. But then if you tell them what you need from them, they should be okay because they know what's expected from them. I think a lot of people freak out when you tell them things because they don't know what their role is in it.
Yeah.
So, if I say to Cecilia, "Oh, I'm tired, Cecilia," and you don't know how to react. You're like, should I go? Should I stay? Are we doing the podcast? And then I might say, I need a coffee. Can you make it for me? Then you know what you do for me. And voila.
I make you a coffee.
I mean, not really going to help with the chronic fatigue.
She made the coffee for herself, so really I'm useless.
This is definitely a hypothetical.
As she looks at her empty coffee cup and over to the Nescafe.
But yeah, shit. Anyway, so Stephanie, girl, you are amazing. Keep going with and keep being you, and be unapologetically you.
And keep doing uni, and uni is a business. They'll keep you there. Like, don't worry about it. They want your money.
The money. Yeah, and they're working for you. You're paying them. So
totally.
Know that you are actually employing them, really.
Totally.
Yes. We're pretty much done.
Heavens.
But the very last part that
Okay.
I do ask everyone now is, what is your best life advice, if you have any?
Oh, God.
It's great to give some unsolicited advice here.
Life advice. I think just keep doing what makes you happy. That sounds cheesy, but I think it's true.
I think it's great.
As long as you're heading in that direction and with people that make you happy, then that's all I got. But have wine and cheese while doing that. And that makes you happy. It makes you even happier.
Fantastic.
I won.
Woohoo. Well, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks guys. And if you want to write in and get advice, write to lauren@giftoflife.com.au. Okay, that's all. Okay.
All right, coffee.
Okay. Bye.
See ya.